Rothschild wants merger between corporations, governments, and AI to save capitalism. Yeah, right. We know the Rothschilds' track record. We know that globalists, that elitists, that the New World Order, Illuminati, if you will, they want to use AI to control us. They want to use AI um, uh, to keep us in our prison, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. If you're unfamiliar with an organization called the Council for Inclusive Capitalism, you're not alone. Most people haven't heard of it. It emerged during the height of the COVID pandemic when widespread fear, fueled by government officials and the media, dominated news feeds and diverted public attention. The CIC embodies what conspiracy theorists have warned about for years, forming a single Orwellian entity complete with dramatic piano music and a facade of humanitarian philanthropy. The council's fundamental purpose is to centralize major corporations, particularly those with global influence, merging them with governments into a network that prioritizes ideology over profit. While some argue for corporations adopting a shared value system instead of operating like a predatory shark, the question arises, who determine the values these corporate giants follow? I mean, look exactly what they're doing now with they're pushing the ideology. Look at Disney and and um Budweiser and all them. What are their values? They're not really the majority values. But the CIC serves as the action arm of the ESG concept, aiming to incentivize or penalize businesses based on their alignment with globalism, woke socialism, and commitment to the climate agenda. Um, the simple idea is to align the majority of corporations with the far left political order, compelling them to use their platforms for mass indoctrination. Over the years, we've witnessed companies flooding the market with products, media content, and marketing infused with diversity, equity, and inclusion propaganda alongside anti-West and anti-conservative narratives. These corporations have become so immersed in the DEI and ESG framework that they're willing to risk alienating their majority of customers and sacrificing profits. The last remnant of free market economics are eroded, replacing the profit motive with a political agenda. Now, why would companies willingly subject themselves to constant micromanagement? It may not be presented as a choice, but rather an unavoidable requirement. Now, those joining earlier secure prominent positions at the cabal's table, while latecomers risk being crushed by an oppressive socialist bureaucracy. Alternatively, the choice may be voluntary, promising corporate leaders extensive governance roles after the frequently discussed Great Reset of capitalism by the World Economic Forum. Surviving public backlash requires corporations to join forces with governments, obtain state sponsored monopolies, and secure perpetual subsidies. Their assumption might be that by adhering to the woke religion, they'll eventually attain too woke to fail status. Mussolini once characterized the union of corporate and government power as the original design for fascism. The Council for Inclusive Capitalism embodies that authoritarian seed, led by Lady Lynn de Rothschild, of the infamous Rothschild's dynasty, and comprising an extensive network of corporate, government, UN, and even Vatican partners. Artificial intelligence is frequently mentioned in the globalist agenda, with Lady Rothschild advocating for a comprehensive economic reform in response to AI. In her media engagement, Rothschild encounters resistance, indirectly admitting that AI demands a radical economic overhaul, replacing free markets with government corporate control for the greater good. So, fascism for the greater good. However, AI and climate change are becoming fabricated excuses for global centralization. The CIC, along with the WEF and the UN, advocates for intervention to moderate AI, creating a problem AI, inflating its impact, and offering themselves as benevolent overseers. Rothschild hints at this in her interview, emphasizing a shift in capitalist priorities towards social causes post AI. Now, Rothschild's disdain for free markets is evident, but free markets are inherently fair. Corporate elites disrupt this fairness by colluding with governments to manipulate the system in their favor. Think about too big to fail and stuff like that. The inequities used to justify centralization are often created by these elites. That's part of the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. They create the problems, get a reaction out of the people, and then they have a solution for it. The CIC and the Great Reset serve as tools to perpetuate corporate and elitist power indefinitely, determine which companies succeed or fail, dictating social values, and controlling resource utilization. Criticizing this ideological invasion of economic life leads to accusations of selfishness, as the CIC claims to save humanity from itself. The bigger question is, why are these globalists assumed to be qualified arbiters of the common good? The current stagflation crisis uh, uh, results from government and central bank interventions, raising doubts about trusting them with social welfare. Globalists counter with AI as an objective mediator, claiming it lacks emotional or political bias. They argue for AI to become humanity's decision making apparatus, justifying Rothschild's push for a global regulatory framework. This allows them to control the world indirectly, using AI as a proxy to avoid accountability. The result is a technocratic shadow government, a faceless algorithm ruling the planet, impervious to public dissent or rebellion. And we need to put a stop to this now. Well, let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.